Of course, I can do that. Here is the same story, rewritten entirely in English, with the setting and names changed to an American context. The autistic boy couldn't be calmed until the cleaning lady arrived and surprised everyone. The Beverly Hills mansion looked like something out of an architectural magazine. Italian marble, crystal chandeliers, perfectly manicured gardens. Anna Miller held the cleaning cloth with trembling hands as she walked through the endless hallways of the second floor. First day on the job, $3,000 a month, $500 more than anywhere else offered. It had to go well. Her mother depended on it. The scream tore through the silence like a blade, sharp, desperate, inhuman. Anna dropped everything and ran. Her sneakers slapped against the cold floor as she followed the sound. Third door, on the left, ajar. Another scream. She pushed the door open. The boy had his back to her, looking too small in the enormous room filled with expensive toys still in their boxes. He was banging his head against the wall with rhythmic, violent movements. His small hands were clamped tightly over his ears. His eyes were squeezed shut, his face contorted in pure terror. Anna knew that terror. "Leo," she whispered to herself, her heart clenching at the memory of her brother, whom she had lost when he was 16. She couldn't touch him. She knew that. Contact could make everything worse. So she sat on the floor, 6 feet away, and began to sing, softly, the same song her grandmother used to sing to Leo during his worst meltdowns. "Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are." The boy kept banging his head, twice, 3 times. Anna kept her voice steady and gentle. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. The banging lessened. He was still crying, but the movement slowed. "Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are." Silence. The boy stopped. His hands were still on his ears, but he was still. After a long moment he turned, huge, wet, lost brown eyes. He looked at Anna as if trying to understand who this woman was, singing on the floor of his room. Anna smiled. "Hello, little one. You're safe now." The sound of hurried footsteps echoed in the hallway. The door burst open. A tall man in an impeccable suit, his dark hair disheveled, rushed in, panting. He looked at his son, then at Anna, sitting on the floor, and back at the now calm child. How did you—" Robert Sterling couldn't finish the sentence. Anna stood up slowly. "I'm sorry, sir. I heard a scream and came to see if everything was all right. He was having a meltdown." Robert approached his son carefully and knelt. "Petey, are you okay?" The boy didn't answer. He just stared at Anna. "How long did it take you to calm him down?" Robert's voice trembled. "About 3 minutes, I think." 3 minutes. He repeated the words as if they made no sense. 3 minutes. "Did I do something wrong?" Anna felt panic rising. She was going to lose her job on the first day. Robert turned to her. His eyes were red. "Wrong? He's 5 years old. 5 years of meltdowns. Specialized nannies, therapists 3 times a week, pediatricians, neurologists. Never, do you hear me? Never has anyone managed to calm him in less than 30 minutes. He ran a hand over his face. "Who are you?" "Anna Miller, sir, the new cleaning lady." "How did you do it?" Anna looked at Petey, who was still watching her with those immense eyes. "I had a brother. He was similar. I took care of him. I learned a few things." "Similar how?" "Autistic, sir. He died 10 years ago. Pneumonia." Her voice broke at the end. Robert was silent for a long moment. Then he held out his hand. "Robert Sterling, and this is Peter, but I call him Petey." Anna shook his hand, feeling the firmness of his grip, the warmth, the silent urgency. If it happens again, if he needs—" Robert couldn't form the question. "I'll help, sir." "Of course I'll help." He nodded, still processing the impossible. Petey then did something that, as Robert would later recount, he had never done with a stranger. He took 2 steps toward Anna and grabbed the hem of her blouse. He didn't look at her. He just held on and stood there, swaying slightly. Anna felt tears burn her eyes. Robert saw the scene, and something inside him broke and rebuilt itself at the same time. "Thank you," he whispered. "Thank you for not running. For staying. I always stay, sir, always." At that moment, neither of them could imagine how prophetic those words would become, nor that, outside the mansion, a woman was watching through the gates, planning her next move. Patricia Sterling had just read the article in Forbes. Los Angeles entrepreneur closes $10 million deal, and she wanted her cut. Anna discovered that singing while she worked was more than a habit. It was a necessity. Her voice echoed softly through the mansion's corridors as she cleaned, tidied, and folded. childhood songs, old lullabies, tunes her grandmother had taught her. On the second day, he appeared. Petey stood in the doorway of the living room, watching her dust the furniture. He didn't come in. He just stood there, hands clasped in front of him, swaying slightly. Anna pretended not to see him and continued singing. Half an hour later, when she looked again, he was still there. "Good morning, Petey," she said softly without approaching. He didn't respond. Was she expecting anything more? She continued her work, singing. When she finished the living room and moved to the hallway, he followed her, keeping a safe distance but following. On the third day, he sat on the floor while she cleaned. 6 feet away, always 6 feet. He swayed to the rhythm of the music. Anna's heart swelled with emotion, but she didn't show it. She kept singing, working, existing in that shared space. Rosa, the 60-year-old housekeeper, who had been looking after Petey for 2 years, watched from a distance with her arms crossed. "You have a gift," she commented during lunch in the kitchen. "I've never seen him so calm with someone new. I just treat him like a child, not like a problem to be solved." Rosa smiled. "Exactly. Most people look at him and see the autism first. You see the boy." On the 4th day it happened. Anna was organizing the library, arranging the books by color because symmetry soothed Petey. He came in, watched for a few minutes, then picked up a red book and placed it with the other red ones. He didn't speak. He just helped. "Thank you, Petey," Anna said gently. He picked up another book, then another. They worked in silence for 20 minutes, Anna humming quietly, Petey organizing colors with meticulous precision. When they finished, he looked at the shelf, then at Anna, and made something that looked like a smile. Robert came home from work and stopped at the library door. The scene hit him like a punch to the gut. His son, who barely interacted with people, was working side by side with the cleaning lady as if it were the most natural thing in the world. "Is he helping?" he asked, incredulous. Anna turned, picked up a blue book that was misplaced among the green ones, and offered it to Petey. "Where does this one go, little guy?" Petey took the book and placed it with the blue ones. "My God," Robert whispered. "It's just patience, sir. And time. Time." Robert entered the library and sat in an armchair. 5 years. 5 years of time. Dozens of professionals. "You've been here 4 days. Sometimes we overcomplicate things. Children are simpler than we think." "Simple," he let out a humorless laugh. "Nothing about Petey is simple. The diagnosis, the therapies, the meltdowns, nothing." Anna stopped tidying and looked at him, really looked at him. She saw the exhaustion in the lines on his face, in the shoulders that carried too much weight. "Difficult doesn't mean impossible, sir." "Robert, you can call me Robert." "Robert." The name sounded strange in her mouth, too intimate. Petey then did something extraordinary. He took Anna's hand and pulled her gently toward more books. He wanted to keep organizing. "Together." Robert felt his eyes burn. "He never... with anyone he... I know," Anna whispered, gently squeezing the small hand holding hers. "I know." They spent another hour organizing books. Petey didn't say a word, but he didn't need to. He was saying everything through each book placed in the right spot, each shy glance in Anna's direction, each moment he chose to stay instead of run. When Anna left that night, Robert walked her to the door. "You have a gift," he said. "It's not a gift. It's just love." "Love," he repeated as if testing the weight of the word. "How long has it been since anyone loved my son like that, without expecting anything in return?" Anna looked him in the eyes. "Everyone deserves to be loved like that, Robert. Everyone." He swallowed, unable to answer. Anna walked out the door, leaving a trail of music and hope behind her. Robert went back to the library. Petey was sitting on the floor looking at the perfectly organized bookshelf. He was holding a book against his chest. A red book, the color Anna had been wearing that day. "You like her, don't you?" Robert asked softly. Petey swayed. He didn't say yes, he didn't say no, but he clutched the book tighter. Robert sat down next to his son. "Me too, buddy. Me too." Neither of them knew that. At that very moment, a phone was ringing in a small apartment in Van Nuys. Patricia answered with a predator's smile. "Dr. Thorne, I need a lawyer. I'm going to get my son back." The mansion's doorbell rang at 7 o'clock on a Friday evening. Mrs. Eleanor Sterling, Robert's mother, arrived for the monthly dinner in her black Mercedes, her driver holding the door for her. 62 years of surgical elegance, discreet but expensive jewelry, a posture of someone who has never had to ask for anything. Anna was in the kitchen helping Rosa with dinner when she heard the voice echo through the foyer. "Robert, darling, where is my grandson?" Anna felt a knot in her stomach. She couldn't explain why. In the dining room, Mum, like always. Mrs. Sterling entered the kitchen like a contained hurricane. She analyzed every detail with sharp eyes. She stopped when she saw Anna. You must be the new cleaner. The way she said the word made Anna feel dirty. Yes, Ma'am. Anna Miller. Very well. Eleanor didn't even wait for a response. Robert, is that new therapist working out? The one from the Singular Institute? $500 a session. I expect results. During dinner, Anna served the table. Petey was sitting next to Robert, pushing food around his plate but eating little. When Anna passed behind him with the juice pitcher, he grabbed her sleeve. He didn't pull, just held on. A silent plea. Petey, Anna whispered, I have to serve your grandmother. He let go slowly, but his eyes begged her not to leave. Since when does the help coddle the child at the dinner table? Eleanor commented, cutting her steak with surgical precision. Robert froze, his fork in midair. Mom, I'm just observing. You pay a fortune for qualified professionals. You don't need the cleaning lady playing amateur therapist. Anna's face burned, but she kept her gaze down. Professional. She had to be professional. Anna helps when Petey needs it, Robert said, but his voice was weak. Helps? Eleanor let out a short laugh. Robert, frankly, these girls always have ulterior motives. You're a widower, rich, vulnerable. Don't be naive, Mrs. Sterling. Anna couldn't stop herself. I only want... Do not speak to me unless I ask you a question. The tone was pure ice. The dinner continued in a tense silence. Anna finished serving and returned to the kitchen, where Rosa found her gripping the sink, trying not to cry. Don't pay her any mind, Rosa whispered. Eleanor has always been like that. She thinks money can buy everything, even love. She's right about one thing, I'm just the cleaner. You're much more than that, and everyone here knows it. But Eleanor's words had planted seeds of doubt. Anna finished her shift in silence, packed her things and was leaving when Petey appeared at the kitchen door. He was holding a piece of paper. He held it out to her without meeting her eyes. It was a drawing, a giant red heart. Done with crayons, uneven, childish, perfect. Anna knelt, her eyes welling up. Is this for me? He didn't answer, but he didn't need to. He placed the paper in her hand and ran off. Robert saw everything from the living room doorway. He had just said goodbye to his mother, heard her final criticisms about maintaining appropriate boundaries with employees, felt the shame burn for not defending Anna. And now he saw his son, who rarely drew, who barely expressed himself, offering a heart to the only person who truly understood him. Anna, wait! He caught up with her in the hallway. She turned, holding the drawing to her chest. Sir? Robert, please. He ran a hand through his hair. I'm sorry. For today. For my mother, for not... You don't have to apologize. She's right. I'm just... No. His voice came out harsher than he intended. Don't say that. You're not just anything. You're important to him. To Petey. And that bothers your mother. My mother. Robert sighed. She lives in a world where everything has its place, and you don't fit in her boxes. I know my place. Do you? He took a step closer. Too close. Because I'm starting to think your place is right here. The air between them changed. Electric. Dangerous. Anna stepped back. Good night, Mr. Sterling. He watched her leave, holding the drawing as if it were gold. When he went upstairs, Petey was at his bedroom window, looking out at the dark street where Anna had disappeared. She'll be back tomorrow, Robert said softly. She always comes back. Petey kept watching the street. Robert sat beside him, resting his head against the cold window. Neither of them saw the car parked across the street. Inside, Patricia finished taking pictures of the mansion. Her phone vibrated with a message from her lawyer. I've secured a preliminary hearing. The judge likes mothers. We have a shot. Patricia smiled. $10 million. The boy was her ticket back into that world, and no one, especially some random cleaning lady, was going to stand in her way. Robert's phone rang at 6 o'clock on a Monday morning. Unknown number. He answered sleepily. Hello? Robert? It's Patricia. He sat up in bed as if he'd been electrocuted. 3 years. 3 years without speaking to the ex-wife who had abandoned their infant son after his diagnosis. What do you want? I want to see my son. Her voice was soft, rehearsed. I know I was terrible, but I've changed. I've had therapy, Robert. 2 years of analysis. Postpartum depression almost killed me. Depression? He let out a bitter laugh. You left him because he was autistic, because he wasn't perfect enough for your Instagram photos. I was sick. I couldn't handle it, but now I'm ready. No, Robert. He doesn't know you. He doesn't remember you. You think you can just show up after 3 years and play mommy? I'm not asking for permission. I have rights. Her voice hardened. And I have a lawyer. Shared custody, Robert. I can get it. Try it. Any judge will see the abandonment, or they'll see a negligent father who lets an unqualified employee take care of a special needs child. She let the threat hang in the air. I read about you in Forbes. 10 million. Congratulations. I'm sure you can afford good lawyers. So can I. She hung up. Robert stared at the phone, his hands shaking with rage. When Anna arrived, she found the house different. Robert had been in his office since early morning, the door closed. Petey seemed to sense the tension. He was more agitated. She sang to him. They played with blocks, but something was off. Throughout the week, the calls multiplied. Patricia, always with the same tone, sweet at first, threatening later, and Mrs. Sterling calling too, sowing discord. Robert, that girl, are you sure you can trust her? All this attachment from Petey isn't natural. What if she tries to sue you, claiming something inappropriate? Mom, for God's sake, I'm protecting you. These poor girls always have ulterior motives. A house, money, status. You're a rich widower with a special needs son, a perfect target. The words piled up like poison. Robert began to watch Anna differently. The way Petey ran to her, how she knew his every gesture, the intimacy they had built. On Friday night, he called her into his office. Anna, I need to talk to you. She entered, feeling the chill in the air. Is something wrong? Petey, he's very attached to you. Is that a bad thing? Your job isn't to take care of him. It's to clean the house. The words were like a slap. Anna blinked, trying to understand. I just help when he needs it, and I appreciate that. But he couldn't look her in the eye. I need you to maintain a professional distance. Do you understand? Because of your mother? Or your ex-wife? How do you know about Patricia? I heard you on the phone. The walls are thin. Robert ran a hand over his face. She wants shared custody. She says I'm being negligent. And part of her argument is that I let unqualified people take care of Petey. Unqualified people, Anna repeated slowly. Is that how you see me? No, it's just, I can't give her ammunition. I need you to do your job and nothing more. Okay. Anna nodded, swallowing her tears. I'm sorry. It won't happen again. She left before he could see her cry. The next few days were torture. Anna cleaned in silence. She no longer sang. When Petey appeared, she would smile politely and continue working. The boy didn't understand. He would stand there, staring at her, waiting for something that no longer came. The fourth time this happened, Petey started to cry. Not screaming, just quiet crying, tears streaming down his cheeks as he looked at Anna as if she had betrayed him. Anna had to leave the room, lock herself in the bathroom and bite her hand to keep from sobbing out loud. Rosa found Robert in the library that night. You're making a mistake, she said without preamble. Rosa, Petey isn't eating well. He's having nightmares. He started hitting his head again yesterday, for the first time in weeks. He'll adjust. To what? To losing the only person who understands him. That woman who abandoned you is going to get custody because you're too much of a coward to stand up to your mother. Watch what you say. Someone has to say it. Anna loves that boy, for real, without asking for anything in return, and you're throwing it away because you're scared. Scared of what? Of feeling something yourself. Robert was silent. Rosa left, letting the truth echo in the empty room. That night, the doorbell rang. A process server with a summons. Patricia had gotten a court order for supervised visits. Petey would spend the next weekend with his mother. Robert read the paper 3 times, his hands trembling. Then he went up to Petey's room. The boy was drawing on the floor. All the drawings were the same. A female figure with curly hair. Anna. Petey, Robert whispered, kneeling beside him. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for everything. But some apologies come too late, and some decisions create cracks that are impossible to repair. Friday at 5 p.m. Patricia arrived at the mansion driving an expensive rental car, wearing clothes she couldn't afford. She smiled at Robert at the door. Hello, darling, she said, as if 3 years of abandonment were just a misunderstanding. Petey was clinging to Robert's leg, crying. Not screams, just a continuous, silent weeping of pure terror. Hey, my prince. Patricia knelt, her arms open. Mommy's here. Petey buried his face in his father's legs. He doesn't know you, Robert said, his voice tense. Because of you, but we're going to fix that. Come on, Peter, let's go have some fun. Anna appeared at the door with Petey's backpack. A detailed list of his routine, foods, potential triggers, the songs that calmed him, all written by hand. He needs, I know what my son needs. Patricia cut her off, taking the backpack without looking at the contents. I don't need instructions from the cleaner. Petey started screaming when Patricia tried to pick him up. Robert had to pry him off his own legs, hold him while the child struggled, and hand him over to his ex-wife. It was like tearing out a piece of his own heart. 2 days, Patricia said already at the door. I'll bring him back Sunday at 6. She left with Petey still screaming in the car. Robert stood in the doorway, listening to the screams fade as the car drove away. Anna was crying openly now, not caring who saw her. He's scared to death, she whispered. I know. Why did you let him go? Because the law says she has the right. Because I'm a coward. Because I don't know what to do anymore. The weekend dragged on like torture. Robert called 6 times. Patricia didn't answer once. Anna didn't come to work on Saturday, but sent him a text at 9 p.m. Is he okay? I don't know, Robert replied. And that was the most honest answer he'd given in weeks. Sunday, 6 p.m., 6:30, 7. Nothing. Robert called 10 more times. At 8:15, the car pulled up in front of the mansion. Patricia got out, laughing at something on her phone. She opened the back door. Come on, Peter, Daddy's waiting. Petey got out of the car, and Robert felt the world stop. The child was a wreck. Deep, dark circles under his eyes. Dirty, wrinkled clothes, the same ones from Friday. Filthy hair. He had scratches on his arms. He smelled of fear, sweat, and despair. He stared into space with glazed eyes. What did you do? Robert roared. Nothing. He just wouldn't eat right. He's a spoiled brat. Spoiled? Robert scooped his son into his arms. Petey was limp, unresponsive. Did you leave him alone? Of course not. She rolled her eyes. He slept in his room. I slept in mine. Normal. His room? You have a 1-bedroom apartment in Van Nuys. So what? He had a room. A place to sleep. Anna appeared at the door. It wasn't her workday, but she knew Petey was coming back. When she saw the state of the boy, she ran. Petey, she whispered, touching his face. Oh my God, what did they do to you? For the first time in 2 days, Petey reacted. He turned his head toward Anna and began to cry. Not screams. They were deep, painful sobs that came from somewhere broken inside him. Anna took him from Robert's arms. I've got him. Go. Go where? Go fix this, go. Robert looked at Patricia, who was examining her nails as if she were bored. You will never touch him again, he said, his voice low and dangerous. Ever. The judge decided I have the right. Next week, same time. Unless you want to go to jail for contempt of court. She got in her car and drove away. Inside the house, Anna sat on the floor of Petey's room. He was clinging to her like a shipwreck survivor to a raft. He smelled of neglect. She began to sing softly, the song that always worked. Rosa brought water. He hasn't had anything to drink all weekend. The bottle I sent is full. She locked him in, Anna whispered, horror in her voice. Look at the marks on the door. He scratched it trying to get out. Robert saw the fingernail marks on the wooden door. He saw the scratches on his son's arms. He put 2 and 2 together. He felt a rage like never before. Call the pediatrician, now. 2 hours later, Dr. Hayes came out of the room. Mild dehydration? Severe psychological trauma? He was confined for long periods. He wasn't properly supervised. I'm going to document everything. She's going to pay, Robert said. No. Anna stood in the doorway, Petey finally asleep in her arms. She's not going to touch him again. You are going to make sure of it. Robert looked at her. Messy hair, red eyes from crying, wrinkled clothes from holding a traumatized child for hours. And yet, she was the most beautiful thing he had ever seen. I'm sorry, he said, for everything, for doubting you, for being weak, for... Later, right now, we have to save him. She looked into Robert's eyes. Do you trust me? With my life? Then listen to me. We need proof. We need a plan. And we need to act fast because she'll be back. And next time could be worse. Robert nodded. Finally, he chose the right side. But Patricia, in her Van Nuys apartment, was already planning her next move. She called her lawyer. He's going to try to block the visits. I need you to file for full custody. Allege negligence on his part. Say he lets the maid sleep over. Imply something inappropriate. Patricia, this could blow up in our faces, or it could get me my son, and the 10 million that comes with him. The game had just begun, and Petey was the prize. Monday morning, 8 o'clock. Mr. Frank Sanchez, a 60-year-old ex-cop, sat in Robert's living room. He had seen a lot in his life, but the pain in this father's eyes was something special. "I need you to follow her," Robert said, pushing a thick envelope of cash across the table. "Everything. Where she goes, who she's with, what she does, and when she's with the boy, especially when she's with my son." Robert leaned forward. "I need proof. She abandoned him. She only came back for the money. But I need to prove it." Frank nodded. "I'll need equipment, cameras, recorders, whatever it takes. Money is no object." Anna came in with coffee. She was officially off since Sunday, but she hadn't left the mansion. Petey wouldn't let her go. Every time she moved away, he would panic. "How is he?" Robert asked. "Sleeping. Still having nightmares. He woke up 3 times last night." "Did you stay with him?" "Someone had to." Frank observed the interaction. He saw things the two of them were still discovering about themselves. On Tuesday, a social worker showed up. An anonymous complaint about improper care. Patricia was playing dirty. The social worker, a Dr. Monica Evans, interviewed everyone. Robert, Rosa, Anna. "Are you qualified to care for special needs children?" she asked Anna. "I don't have a certificate, but I have experience." "Experience is not a formal qualification. Experience is love turned into knowledge," Anna replied. "A certificate is a piece of paper. A child needs a heart." Dr. Evans took notes. She handed over a report before she left. "Miss Miller may perform cleaning duties, but she cannot have responsibility for the child without the supervision of a qualified professional." Robert read the paper, crumpled it up and threw it in the trash. "Ignore it," he said when Anna started to protest. "I'll go to court and change this." But until then, they had to follow the rules. Anna cleaned. Rosa officially took care of Petey, but at night when the nightmares came, it was Anna who went upstairs. It was her voice that calmed him. It was in her arms that he slept. Wednesday. Robert received a court summons. Patricia had changed her petition. She no longer wanted shared custody. She wanted full exclusive custody. She was alleging parental negligence. "She's insane," Rosa said, reading the document. "She's desperate," Anna corrected. "A desperate person is a dangerous person." Thursday night, Frank showed up with a tablet full of photos. Patricia leaving her apartment at night. Petey at the window, alone. Patricia at bars in West Hollywood. Coming back at 3 in the morning, drunk. "Does this help?" Frank asked. "It's a start," Robert replied. "But I need more. I need something irrefutable." Friday morning, Patricia called. "Second visit," she announced. "Same terms." The judge approved it. "Petey is still recovering from the last one." "It's not your choice. 5 p.m., Robert. Don't make me call the police." He hung up and slammed his fist against the wall. Anna appeared at his office door. "He won't survive another weekend like that," she said. "I know." "Then don't let him go. It's the law. The law is wrong." Anna walked in, closing the door. "Listen, we're going to document everything. Cameras, recorders. We're going to make her expose herself. I can't record her without consent, but Frank can observe, he can take pictures, he can be in public places." Robert looked at her. "Are you suggesting we spy on my ex-wife?" "I'm suggesting we protect your son, by any means necessary." He smiled for the first time in days. "When did you become such a strategist?" "When I realized that being good isn't enough. Sometimes you have to play dirty." Friday, 5 p.m. Patricia arrived on time. Petey was screaming again, clinging to Robert. This time, Anna placed a tiny GPS tracker in his backpack, monitored through an app. 2 days, Patricia said, taking the crying child with her. Robert, Anna and Frank set up in the apartment the investigator had rented across from Patricia's, a camera with a zoom lens, a clear view of the windows. 9 p.m. Patricia left. An Uber was waiting. Party clothes. Petey was alone in the apartment. The light was on, a small shadow at the window. Frank photographed everything. Robert felt sick. "He's alone," Anna whispered. 5 years old. Alone. I see it. We have to. We can't. Not yet. We need this to be undeniable. At 2 in the morning, Patricia returned, stumbling. A friend helping her. She collapsed on the couch. Petey was still awake, still at the window. Saturday, 10 a.m. Patricia took Petey to the Beverly Center. Frank followed them. Photos of her buying expensive toys. Petey playing. Pictures for Instagram. Then, an hour later, she returned everything. Frank recorded every second. Saturday night. Friends at her apartment. Loud music. Petey locked in the bedroom. Frank managed to record the audio through the open window. This kid is too much work, Patricia's voice. He doesn't talk, doesn't interact, just cries. So why did you want him back? A male voice asked. 10 million reasons. The father just closed a mega deal. I just have to win custody, then I'll stick him in some expensive clinic. I don't have to see him every day, but the money keeps rolling in. Frank recorded every word. Anna cried when she heard it. Robert was in a state of silent shock. Sunday, 8 p.m. 2 hours late, Patricia returned Petey. Worse than the first time. The boy was almost catatonic. Anna took him. She carried him straight to the bathroom. Robert confronted Patricia. It's over. There won't be a next time. The judge decides that, not you. I have proof. Of what? That I'm a normal mother? That I go out sometimes? Is that a crime? You abandoned him. I was sick. Postpartum depression. Liar. Prove it. She smiled. See you in court. And bring your little cleaning lady. The judge will love to hear she sleeps over. Robert slammed the door in her face. He went up to Petey's room. The boy was in the bathtub. Anna carefully washing away 2 days of filth. She was singing softly. For the first time since he'd been back, there was some expression in his eyes. Daddy, he whispered. The first word in days. Robert knelt by the tub. I'm here, son, and you're never leaving again. I promise. Anna looked at him. Are you sure? Can you promise that? I'll make it happen, whatever it costs. That night, after Petey was asleep, Robert and Anna stood on the terrace. A full moon over Los Angeles. A heavy silence between them. Thank you, he said finally, for staying, for not giving up. I never give up on the people I love. You love him. Yes. And me? The question slipped out before he could stop it. Anna looked at him. It's not fair to ask that now. Why not? Because you're my boss, because your ex is trying to destroy everything, because... She stopped. Because I'm afraid of the answer. Robert touched her face. The first real touch, without excuses. Me too. They stood like that, hands almost touching, unspoken words hanging in the air, until Petey's scream broke them apart. Another nightmare. They ran together. They cared for him together, and in that moment, they looked like what they couldn't yet admit they were, a family. Tuesday, 10 a.m., Los Angeles Superior Court. The imposing building held decades of destinies decided in cold, carpeted rooms. Robert adjusted his tie for the 10th time. Hugo Boss suit, freshly polished shoes, the look of a successful entrepreneur, but his hands were trembling. Anna was by his side. A simple navy blue dress, the only one she had for special occasions. Hair pulled back, minimal makeup. She looked small in that environment of marble and justice, but her eyes held the determination of steel. It's going to be okay, she whispered. How do you know? Because the truth is on our side. The truth doesn't always win. Mr. Joseph C. Ferreira appeared, a veteran in his late 60s with a leather briefcase. Ready? The judge is tough but fair. Judge Regina Oliveira, 20 years on the family court bench. Across the hall, Patricia arrived. Unrecognizable. Chanel suit, perfectly coiffed hair, flawless makeup. She looked the very picture of responsible motherhood. Behind her, Dr. Marcia Thorne, an aggressive lawyer in her 40s, known for winning impossible cases. It's all an act, Anna muttered. An act that might work, Robert replied. They were all called into the courtroom. The judge's bench was elevated. Patricia and her lawyer on one side, Robert, Anna, and Mr. Ferreira on the other. Spectators in the back chairs. Rosa, Anna's frail but present mother, Mrs. Miller, and Frank the investigator. Judge Regina Oliveira entered. 55, glasses on the tip of her nose, an expression of someone who has seen every possible lie. Everyone rose. Be seated. Case number 2024-0047-893. Patricia Sterling versus Robert Sterling. Petition for full custody. She looked over her glasses. Dr. Thorne, you may begin. The lawyer stood up, firm voice, confident posture. Your Honor, my client is a mother who fell ill. Severe postpartum depression. It was not abandonment but an illness. She stepped away to get treatment, to come back better, stronger. And she did, ready to love her son. A dramatic pause. But she found an alarming situation. Mr. Sterling, extremely busy with his multi-million-dollar businesses, has completely outsourced his son's care, not to qualified professionals, but to, she pointed at Anna, the cleaning lady, with no training, no certification, no qualifications whatsoever to deal with a special needs child. Anna felt all eyes on her. She held her head high. Even more seriously, Dr. Thorne continued, there is evidence of an inappropriate relationship. Miss Miller regularly sleeps at the residence. She leaves at dawn. This creates an unstable, confusing environment for the child. My client only wants to protect her son, to give him the stability of a proper maternal home. She sat down. A heavy silence. Mr. Ferreira stood up, an old lion who knew every trick in the book. Your Honor, let's look at the facts. Patricia Sterling abandoned her son at the age of 3, 2 weeks after his autism diagnosis, not an absence of months. 2 full years, 0 visits, 0 calls, 0 interest. He walked to the judge's bench handing over documents. Here, reports from the nanny, doctors, therapists, all confirming no maternal contact from 2022 to 2024. Patricia kept a neutral expression, but her eyes betrayed her. And why did she return now? Coincidentally, 3 weeks after an article in Forbes magazine announced that Mr. Sterling had closed a $10 million deal. Mr. Ferreira held up the magazine. The motivation is clear, financial. Objection. Dr. Thorne stood up. Speculation. Sustained by the timeline of events, Mr. Ferreira retorted. As for Miss Miller, she possesses something no diploma can give. Genuine love and real experience. She cared for her own autistic brother for years. She knows how to handle meltdowns. She is the only person, besides the father, whom the child trusts. But she is not qualified, Judge Oliveira noted. A mother doesn't need a certificate either, Your Honor. She needs a heart, and Miss Miller has that in abundance. The judge took notes. Witnesses. Yes, Your Honor. Rosa Maria Santos, the child's official nanny. Rosa took the stand. She swore to tell the truth. Mr. Ferreira guided her gently. How long have you worked for Mr. Sterling? 2 years, sir. In that time? How many times did Mrs. Patricia visit her son? None. Until last month she never showed up. And how would you rate Mr. Sterling's care? He's a dedicated father. He works a lot, yes, but he always prioritizes the child. Therapies, doctors, the best of everything. And when Anna came, everything got better. The child who had daily meltdowns became calm. Thank you. Mr. Ferreira sat down. Dr. Thorne rose to cross-examine. Miss Santos, does Miss Miller frequently sleep at the house? When Petey has nighttime crises, yes. And is Mr. Sterling present on those occasions? Sometimes yes, sometimes no, it depends. So a young single woman sleeps alone in a mansion with a single wealthy man. Doesn't that strike you as convenient? Rosa glared at her. It strikes me as devotion. She's caring for a child. I see no evil in someone who only sees love. Dr. Thorne smiled coldly. Of course, no further questions. Mr. Ferreira called the therapist from the Singular Institute, Dr. Paula Ribeiro, a calm, professional woman in her 40s. Is Petey making progress? Dramatically. In the last 2 months, he has started attempting verbal communication, something extremely rare for his level of autism. And after the visits with his mother, Dr. Ribeiro hesitated. Regression, nightmares, the self-injurious behaviors returned, typical post-traumatic stress. Murmurs in the courtroom. Judge Oliveira banged her gavel. Silence. Dr. Thorne attacked. Dr. Ribeiro, children can regress for many reasons, can't they? Yes. Couldn't it be emotional confusion from the sudden appearance of a maternal figure? Unlikely. The behavior indicates fear, not confusion. But it's possible? Theoretically. Dr. Thorne smiled. No further questions. Noon recess. Robert, Anna, and Mr. Ferreira went to a waiting room. It's going well, the lawyer said. But the attack on Anna is still coming. Be ready. Anna drank water, her hands freezing. Robert took one of them. You can do this, just tell the truth. What if the truth isn't enough? It will be. It has to be. They returned. Judge Oliveira called Miss Anna Miller to the stand. Anna walked up, her legs trembling. She sat in the high chair, the microphone in front of her. She felt every eye on her, especially Patricia's, cold and calculating. Mr. Ferreira questioned her first, with a kind, fatherly voice. Anna, tell us how you met Petey. She told the story. The scream, the meltdown, the song. She kept her voice steady, her emotions in check. Why did you help? Because I had seen that despair before. In my brother Leo, I know what it's like to feel like the world is ending and no one understands. I couldn't let him suffer like that. What do you feel for Petey? Anna looked at Robert, then at the judge. I love him, as if he were my own, not out of duty or for money, because love doesn't ask for permission. It just arrives. A respectful silence fell over the room. Even Judge Oliveira seemed moved. Thank you. Mr. Ferreira sat down. Then Dr. Thorne stood up, a predator who had smelled blood, and the slaughter began. Dr. Thorne walked slowly toward Anna. She smiled. It was not a kind smile. Miss Miller, what is your educational background? A high school diploma? College? No, ma'am. Any technical courses in childcare? No. Certification in autism? No. So, to summarize, 0 formal qualifications to care for a child with special needs, correct? Anna took a deep breath. I have experience. Experience? Dr. Thorne laughed. Your brother passed away 10 years ago. You were 16. A child caring for another child. I loved him. Love is not a substitute for competence, but let's continue. She picked up some papers. Your initial salary was $3,000 a month, correct? Yes. And your mother's treatment, Mrs. Miller, how much does that cost? Anna turned pale. I don't. $15,000 a month. Cancer. Expensive chemotherapy. Your mother almost lost her treatment, didn't she? And suddenly, Doctor. Thorne paused for suspense. Suddenly, Mr. Sterling pays for 6 months up front. $90,000. A coincidence? He did it because he wanted to. I didn't ask him. You didn't? The lawyer smiled. A young, poor woman with a sick mother enters the house of a rich widower, fakes an interest in the child, gets close to the father, gets money. It's a tale as old as time. It wasn't like that. Anna was on her feet, tears streaming down her face. Sit down, Judge Oliveira ordered. Anna sat, shaking. Let's move on to the photos. Dr. Thorne projected images on the screen. Anna leaving the mansion at 6 in the morning. Messy hair, wrinkled clothes. She regularly sleeps at the house, leaves at dawn, looking like someone who has spent the night doing what exactly? Taking care of Petey. He was having nightmares. Or creating a convenient situation. Pretending the child needs her to get access to the father, seduce him, get pregnant and secure a comfortable life. It's the perfect scam. Objection! Mr. Ferreira roared. This is absurd. It's a common strategy, Dr. Thorne retorted. Women taking advantage of vulnerable men. The courtroom erupted. Shouts, arguments. Judge Oliveira banged her gavel violently. Order! One more sound and I will clear this room. Doctor. Thorne, watch your accusations. I am merely stating the obvious, Your Honor. Anna was shattered. Her hands covered her face, tears soaking her fingers. Complete humiliation. Robert couldn't take it anymore. He stood up. That's a lie. She's not like that. Mr. Sterling, sit down or you will be removed, Judge Oliveira commanded. Mr. Ferreira pulled Robert back into his seat. Calm down. Trust Anna. But Anna was beyond calm. All the accusations, all the injustice, all the love being questioned. Something inside her broke. Enough, she shouted. She stood up again. You can humiliate me, you can call me a gold digger, but you will not tell me that I don't love that child. Miss Miller, Judge Oliveira tried to intervene. No, Anna glared at Patricia. I was there for him when no one else could be, when he was banging his head until it bled. I was there. When he was screaming in terror at 3 in the morning, I was there. When his own biological mother abandoned him because he wasn't perfect enough for her Instagram photos, I was there. Absolute silence. I don't want money, Anna continued, her voice breaking. I don't want to get married. I don't want anything except to see that boy happy. And you, she pointed at Patricia, you don't love him. You love what he can get you. $10 million. Is that what a son is worth to you? Patricia was white as a sheet. He's not a number. He's not an investment. He's a little boy. A little boy who's afraid of the dark, who likes to arrange his books by color, who is learning to trust, and you want to destroy that all over again. Anna fell to her knees, sobbing. I just want him to be happy, that's all. That's all. No one moved. It was the raw, painful, naked truth, impossible to fake. Judge Oliveira cleared her throat. We will take a 1-hour recess. Let everyone compose themselves. An hour later they returned. Judge Oliveira was already seated. Her expression was serious, unreadable. Mr. Ferreira, your evidence? The lawyer smiled. The moment he'd been waiting for. Your Honor, I would like to present photographic and audio documentation provided by Mr. Frank Sanchez, a licensed private investigator. The screen lit up. First photo, Petey alone at the apartment window. At night. A digital clock was visible. 10:47 p.m. The first night of the visit. Petey alone. Second photo, Patricia leaving the apartment. Party clothes. An Uber waiting. Clock, 9:32 p.m. The mother leaving. A 5-year-old child, locked inside, alone. Third photo, Patricia at a bar in West Hollywood. A drink in her hand. Smiling. Clock, 11:15 p.m. Dr. Thorne tried to object. Your Honor, a mother has a right to a social life, not with her 5-year-old special needs son home alone. Mr. Ferreira shot back. That is negligence. It is a crime. More photos. Patricia buying expensive toys at the Beverly Center. A picture posted to Instagram with the caption, Mommy and Son, True Love. Then, an hour later, returning everything at the same store. Frank had recorded the conversation with the sales clerk. I just needed the photos. The courtroom was in shock. And now, the audio. Mr. Ferreira pressed play. Patricia's voice clear, unmistakable. This kid is too much work. He doesn't talk, doesn't interact, just cries. A male voice. So why did you want him back? Patricia. 10 million reasons. The father just closed a mega deal. I just have to win custody, then I'll stick him in some expensive clinic. I don't have to see him every day, but the money keeps rolling in. A deathly silence. Judge Oliveira took off her glasses and looked directly at Patricia. Do you have anything to say, Mrs. Sterling? Patricia swallowed. I was drunk. I didn't mean it. You abandoned your son for 2 years. You returned after your ex-husband's financial windfall. You left a child alone. You returned gifts after taking photos. You admitted on a recording that you intended to institutionalize him. Judge Oliveira leaned forward. Which part, exactly, did you not mean? Dr. Thorne tried to salvage the situation. Your Honor, my client was what? Acutely cynical. The judge was visibly irritated. I'm calling the child. Your Honor, Mr. Ferreira said, Petey has severe autism. The court could traumatize him. 5 minutes, supervised. I need to see this with my own eyes. Rosa brought Petey in. The boy entered holding hands with Dr. Ribeiro, the therapist. He looked around, eyes wide, hands starting to flap. A new environment. Too many people. Sensory overload was imminent. Hello, Petey, Judge Oliveira said softly. You don't have to be scared. He didn't answer. He stared at the floor. Patricia stood up. Peter, my love, it's Mommy. Petey looked at her. For 3 seconds he just looked. Then he backed away. He covered his ears. He started to rock. No, no, no. The first no was quiet, then louder, then a scream. No, no, don't go. Patricia tried to approach. He screamed louder, going into a full meltdown. Dr. Ribeiro tried to calm him, but he was losing control. Then he saw Anna. Instant silence. Petey stopped, stared, and ran. He didn't walk. He ran. Straight to Anna, leaping into her arms. He wrapped his legs around her waist, his arms around her neck, hiding his face in her shoulder. Anna hugged him tightly. It's okay, little one. It's okay. He calmed down. In seconds, from chaos to peace. Judge Oliveira watched. Everyone watched. The image said everything. The biological mother, rejected. The unqualified woman, chosen. Petey, Anna whispered, can you do one thing for me? He didn't answer, but he held still, listening. Can you say one word? Just one? Silence. Then, so quiet it was barely audible. Anna, his voice, for the first time in court. One word, one name, her name. Robert cried openly. Rosa covered her mouth. Even Judge Oliveira blinked a little faster. Thank you, Petey, the judge said softly. You can go with Aunt Rosa now? Anna handed him to Rosa. Petey looked back as he left, reaching a hand out for Anna. She waved. He tried to wave back. Judge Oliveira waited for the door to close. Then she looked at Patricia with a mixture of disgust and pity. I will deliberate for 30 minutes. 30 minutes that felt like 30 years. Finally, the bailiff called them back in. All rise for the verdict. Everyone stood. Anna took Robert's hand. I have reviewed all documentation. I have heard the testimonies. I have observed the child, and my decision is as follows. Judge Oliveira looked directly at Patricia. Mrs. Patricia Sterling, intentional and prolonged abandonment for 2 full years has been proven. Your return coincides exactly with the disclosure of the father's fortune, characterizing financial interest. During the court-ordered visits, you left a 5-year-old child alone, constituting gross negligence. The audio proves you intended to institutionalize the child not for therapeutic need, but for personal convenience. Patricia was pale as wax. Therefore, I rule, the petition for full custody by Mrs. Patricia Sterling is denied in its entirety. Furthermore, all previously authorized visitation rights are hereby suspended indefinitely until Mrs. Sterling can prove, through a minimum of 2 years of psychological treatment and a positive evaluation from a multidisciplinary team, her fitness to parent without detriment to the minor. Patricia shot up, screaming, This is an injustice. You've been bought. That woman stole my son. Mrs. Sterling, contain yourself. No, you'll all pay for this. That bitch is going to pay. Bailiff! Judge Oliveira slammed her gavel. 2 deputies entered and restrained Patricia as they dragged her out, still screaming. The judge sighed. Court costs are to be paid by Mrs. Patricia. Mr. Sterling retains full and exclusive custody. Miss Miller may be formalized as a caregiver, but I recommend formal training courses. This court is adjourned. She banged the gavel. For 3 seconds no one moved. Then Robert hugged Mr. Ferreira. Anna collapsed into tears. Rosa shouted with joy. You did it, Robert said, holding Anna's face. You saved him. We saved him. Together. Outside, photographers waited. Robert shielded Anna from the flashes. Petey was in the car with Rosa, eating a cookie. When he saw Anna and Robert, he smiled. Over? He asked, the word broken but clear. It's over, my love, Anna said, getting in the car and pulling him into a hug. It's over for good. The months following the trial were a time of healing. Slow, sometimes painful, but real. Petey improved gradually. He started using single words more frequently. Hungry, water, Anna, Dad. Each word was a celebrated victory. Anna was officially made his caregiver. $5,000 a month, a permanent contract, full benefits. She no longer had to pretend she was just the cleaner. She was family. Anna's mother was discharged from Cedars-Sinai Medical Center. Her cancer was in remission, a miracle of medicine and the money Robert insisted on paying. She lived in the mansion's guest house for 3 months, regaining her strength, getting to know the grandson who wasn't hers by blood, but by heart. Rosa became the official housekeeper, a pay raise, her own suite of rooms, a part of the extended family forming in that house that was too big for 3 people, but perfectly small for the love growing within its walls. 4 months after the trial, on a Saturday night, Robert made dinner, or at least he tried. He burned the rice, the steak was tough, but the salad was edible. Anna laughed when she saw the table. You don't have to cook. I want to do something special. He poured wine. For himself. Juice for her. Special why? Robert sat down. He took her hand. Anna, are you happy? Very. For the first time in years, I'm completely happy. Why? Because I have everything I ever wanted. My mother is healthy. A job I love. Petey is getting better. You guys, Robert repeated. Petey and me. Yes. Have you ever thought about making it permanent? Official? Anna tilted her head, confused. Isn't it already? I work here. I take care of him. Robert stood up. He knelt down. Anna stopped breathing. Not as an employee, as a wife, as a mother, as a real family. He pulled a small box from his pocket, a simple ring, a small but genuine diamond. Anna Miller, will you marry me? She was in shock. She looked at him, at the ring, then back at him. Robert, people will talk. Your mother. Let them talk. My mother will either accept it or lose her grandson. The choice is hers. But I love you. As simple as that. 3 words that changed everything. I've loved you since that first day you sang to my son. I love you for the way you fight for him. I love you because when I look at you, I see a home, Anna cried. I love you too, but I'm scared. Scared I'm not good enough. That I don't belong in your world. You don't belong in my world. You are my world. He took her hands. And Petey's. But only if you want this. Only if this is what your heart is telling you. You don't have to answer now. Think about it. Please, just think about it. Anna looked at the ring. Small but honest. Like Robert. Like everything between them. Can I think about it? All the time you need. She took the box. A week. A year if you need it. But she didn't need a year or even a week. 2 days later, Anna was cooking. Petey was arranging the silverware by size. A typical behavior for him, the search for order. Her mother was peeling potatoes. Honey, her mother said, are you happy here? Yes, Mom. Does he make you happy? Very. Then why haven't you answered him yet? Anna stopped stirring the beans. I'm scared. Of what? Of not being enough. Of him regretting it. Of Petey not truly accepting me. Petey, who everyone thought was lost in his own world, spoke without looking up. Anna. Mom. Silence. He had never said that. Never called her Mom. Mom, he repeated, this time looking at her. Anna, Mom. Her mother smiled, tears in her eyes. I think he's accepted you. That night, after putting Petey to bed, Anna found Robert in the library. He was reading company reports but wasn't focused. He was thinking about 1,000 things, all of them related to her. "Robert?" He looked up. "Hey." "Yes." "Yes what?" "Yes, I'll marry you. I want to be your wife." The book fell from his hands. He stood up so fast he knocked over his chair. "Are you serious?" "I'm serious. I want to be your wife. I want to be Petey's mother. I want to build a real family with you both." He kissed her. The first real kiss. Without excuses, without fear. She kissed him back, her hands on his face, feeling years of loneliness dissolve. 3 months later, a wedding in the mansion's garden. Small, intimate. Rosa and Frank as witnesses. Anna's mother in the front row. And, a last-minute surprise, Eleanor Sterling. It took the matriarch months to accept it. Months where Robert stood firm in his decision, where Petey was clearly happier, where she saw that Anna didn't want money, she wanted a family. Finally, her pride broke. She showed up in a discreet hat and an elegant dress. "I only came because my grandson needs this," she told Robert before the ceremony. "Not because I approve." "It's a start," he replied. The music began. Anna appeared. A simple white dress, a bouquet of daisies. Nothing expensive, but beautiful in a way money could never buy. Petey was the ring-bearer. He stumbled on his way up the aisle. He dropped the rings. Rosa helped him pick them up. So everyone laughed, including Petey, who wasn't embarrassed. He just thought it was funny. Simple vows. Robert promised to love, protect, and honor. Anna promised the same. They exchanged rings. They kissed. Officially married. The reception was a barbecue in the garden. No pomp. Beer, grilled meat, music. Eleanor left early, but not before she hugged Anna. Quick, awkward, but a hug nonetheless. "Take care of him," she whispered. "Both of them. With my life," Anna promised. Night fell. The guests left. It was just Robert, Anna, and Petey in the garden looking at the stars. "Happy?" Robert asked. "Completely," Anna replied. "Stars," Petey said, pointing. "They're shining." "Yes," Anna said. "They shine forever, just like us." And at that moment, in that garden, in that family no one could have imagined, everything was perfect. Not perfect without problems, but perfect because it was real. The first months of marriage were an adjustment. Anna officially moved into the master bedroom. It was strange at first, sharing a space, an intimacy, a life. Anna started college, an online degree in education from UCLA's extension program. Robert insisted on paying for it. "You've spent years taking care of everyone else," he told her. "Let someone take care of you now." 8 months after the wedding, Anna missed her period. She took 3 pregnancy tests, all positive. She sat in the bathroom staring at the results, her mind racing. How would Petey react? A baby was a massive change. She told Robert that night. He was stunned. Another child, a growing family. They prepared Petey slowly, with books about new siblings. He would touch Anna's growing belly, confused. "Baby small?" "Very small, but it will grow." 9 months later, their daughter was born. Isabella. Petey visited them at the hospital. When he saw Isabella in Anna's arms, curiosity overcame his fear. "Bella?" he asked softly, a nickname he'd invented. "Yes, this is Bella." He gently touched the baby's hand with one finger. She reflexively gripped it. "Small," he whispered. "Very small. Will you protect her?" Petey thought for a moment. He nodded. "I will. I'm the big brother." And from that first day, he was. The first few months were chaos. Isabella woke up every 2 hours. Petey had a regression. The constant crying overloaded his senses, but they adapted. Rosa was a lifesaver. Anna's mother, fully recovered, moved into the guest house permanently, an extra support that saved everyone's sanity. At 6 months, Isabella started to laugh. Petey discovered that making funny faces made her happy. It was the first time he had truly played with someone. Eleanor Sterling was now a weekly visitor, a slow but real transformation. She fell in love with Isabella. And she began to see Petey differently, not as a problem but as her grandson. One Sunday, Eleanor found Petey teaching Bella how to sort blocks by color. The baby was just laughing and knocking them over, but Petey was patient, smiling when she occasionally got one right by accident. "He's a good brother," Eleanor said to Anna. "He's wonderful. I was wrong about you, about him, about everything." Eleanor looked at her daughter-in-law. "I'm sorry. It's taken me too long to say it, but I'm sorry." Anna hugged her. The first real hug. "Thank you for saying it." 2 years later, Patricia appeared at the gate. Thinner, her hair dull, wearing simple clothes. She didn't ring the bell. She just stood there watching. Robert went out to meet her. "What are you doing here?" "I just wanted to see him," she said, her voice tired, stripped of its old venom. "Just once, to see if he's okay." "He is. Better than ever. Because of her. The cleaner. Because of his family. Because of his mother. Anna is his mother now." Patricia flinched. "Has he forgotten me? He has no memories of you." It wasn't cruel. It was just the truth. She nodded, swallowing tears. "Does he talk?" "Short sentences. But he talks. He loves his sister. He's as happy. You rebuilt your life. I built a life for the first time." He looked at her with something that wasn't anger, but wasn't pity either. "You can too, but far away from here. Far away from him." "I did the therapy," she said. "I wasn't ready to be a mother. I panicked. I ran. And when I came back for the wrong reasons." She wiped a tear. "I don't want anything. I swear. I just wanted to say, I'm sorry, and that I'm glad he has a real mother now." She turned and walked away, getting on a bus at the corner. Robert never saw her again. Epilogue, 8 years later. Petey was 16. Isabella was 10. The years had flown by. Petey was tall. His voice had changed, but he was essentially the same. He still loved order and routine, but he also had friends, 3 of them, true friends. He had discovered a talent for coding. He was a brilliant, quiet, kind young man. Isabella was a hurricane, as always. Trophies from ballet, science fair projects, a new ambition every month. She was his fiercest protector and his best friend. Sunday morning, the breakfast table, the whole family, as always. Rosa, retired but ever present. Anna's mother, healthy and strong. Eleanor, 70, finally at peace. "Who wants to say grace today?" Robert asked. "It's Petey's turn," said Isabella. Petey looked at everyone around the table. The family they had built together. Not perfect, but his. Real. He took Anna's and Robert's hands. "Thank you for the food," he began, his voice steady. "Thank you for family. Thank you for the people who love you, even when it's hard. Thank you for second chances. Thank you for the mother who chose to love me, for the father who never gave up, for the sister who understands me, for everyone here. We are a family, and family is forever. Amen." "Amen," they all repeated. Rosa started to cry, then Anna's mother, then Eleanor, then Anna. "Why is everyone crying?" Isabella asked. "Because sometimes happiness hurts," Anna explained. "It hurts because it's so good." That night, after everyone had gone home, after the children were asleep, Robert and Anna sat on the terrace. Their ritual, unchanged. "Do you remember?" Robert asked. "The first day? I remember everything. The scream, the meltdown, the song. Who would have thought it would lead us here? Destiny." From inside, they heard Petey cry out. A nightmare, as he sometimes still had. "I'll go," Robert said, stopping Anna from getting up. "It's my turn." He went to his son's room. Petey was sitting up, sweating. "A bad dream?" Robert asked. "I dreamed everyone left, that I was alone again." Robert sat on the bed and pulled his son into a hug. 16 years old, but he still needed his father's arms. "You will never be alone, never. Even when you're a grown man with your own life, you will always have us. Always. Promise." "I promise. Family doesn't leave. We learned that the hard way, but we learned it." Petey relaxed. "I love you guys. We love you too, son. More than anything in the world." Robert stayed until he fell back asleep. When he came back downstairs, Anna was waiting. "Is he better?" "He's always better. With you. With us." They stood on the terrace under the Los Angeles sky. "Happy?" Robert asked for the 1,000th time. "Always," Anna replied. "Always." And they were. Not a fairy tale happiness, a real one. With challenges, bad days, exhaustion and doubts, but with so much more. Laughter, hugs, triumphs and love. A love that began with a scream and became a song that built a family that built a home that was everything they ever needed.